You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey.
Activate. Let's go. Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh no.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Okay.
Activate.
Hey, hey,
Let's go.
they say I ain't saved cause I cuss a little bit. But you're the only judge that I need and that's it. They always in my business cause they say I backslid. They read the Holy Bible but they ain't applying it. So Holy Spirit activate. If you do it right now, that would be great. I ain't trying to smack this chick in the face. Don't you see me down here trying to change my way. So
Holy Spirit,
you better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
You better get them, Lord.
Holy Spirit,
Before I get them, Lord.
activate.
Hey, hey, hey.
You cannot. Okay.
Holy Spirit,
They
activate.
better do it, Lord.
Holy Spirit.
Sorry, I was still talking to people. Hi, good morning, well, afternoon, most of you. I love you all. Welcome back to my show, the Sean W. Show. I'm sorry I was talking. So yeah, I'm back. Like, whatever. So yesterday was a lot. Okay. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Like, I won't talk anymore until guys hit the like, because I'll just shut my mouth. I'll just shut my mouth. But yeah, yesterday was a lot. I do want to say this. Blue. Okay. I don't have a problem with you per se, because I don't know you, right? And you don't know me. Okay. So I'm not going to apologize for my content and the things that I say, because I don't feel like I said anything that I don't mean. So, I mean, it just, me apologizing would be lying, and that's gross. And I'm allergic to being fake. So, yeah, I'm not apologizing about anything. Gross. But I will say this. I mean, I get people's approach and delivery can be a little different than some people are used to. My approach has always been like this when we talk about topics like this because they're very heavy topics. They're not easy things to talk about. So I believe in entertaining my audience while keeping up with things to us that matter. Okay. Um, Blue, you don't can matter. So there's no like beef or anything. I don't have any beef with you. You don't matter. You didn't date her, Mahogany. That did not happen. Um, you say you're not involved. You call the police on yourself because you say turn in, which is really weird. It's a little slow of you. A little dropped out early. Because how can you turn yourself into something you're not being charged with? If there's a warrant out for my arrest and I go turn myself in, that's what I'm doing. If I call the police and say, this is where I am, come and get me, it would be for charges. You don't have any. So you didn't turn yourself in. And calling the police on yourself does not make you innocent because you're still not. I mean, you've said it how many times? Nobody's innocent. You said it umpteen times. Yet, you called the police on yourself. Weird. But that's on you. So yeah, so at the end of the day, again, you weren't dating her. You weren't hanging with these people. You weren't there. Shut the fuck up. I don't know. So yeah, there's no beef. You don't matter. You're insignificant. Like you said that. Remember? Didn't hang with him. There, you said mental relationship, so we all know you weren't dating Mahogany. That didn't happen. So I really don't see what the problem is. I really don't get it. You don't matter. Ooh. So move right along from that. Yeah, that's all I have to say. I'm not apologizing for anything. That's just how we give it up. If you don't like it, oh well. That's all I can tell you. But I don't feel like I have anything to apologize for. But there is no beef. I do want to say that. I don't hate Blue, or anything like that. I don't know Blue. Blue don't know me. It is what it is. But our public perception, I just feel like Blue is disliked. And I'm one of those people. I would say how you entered this situation and the things that you have discussed makes you very unlikable. It's really easy to dislike someone like you. So it makes sense why so many people do. I get why people don't like you. I get why people think that you're disingenuous. I get why people think that you're clout chasing. I get why people think you're ugly. I get why people think your back is long, wide. I get a lot of stuff. I get why people think you a nigga. I get all of that. I get it all. So yeah, I get why people think you're a liar. I get all of those things. So yeah, the title says Mahogany Jackson knew she was going to pass away. The charges reduced for suspects. Mahogany put blicka blicka to Brandon. Okay. Um, I do want to say viewer discretion and trigger warning for a lot of things that we're about to go over. Okay. Um, again, shout out to Mahogany's family. I know this must be a really hard time for you guys. I get it. I hope what comes out of this is that a lot of people in that area that are doing these things, hopefully they stop. Hopefully y'all, find y'all something better to do, different to do with y'all lives. A lot of this behavior we get, like, the mentality that y'all have, we get it. But I just hope that Mahogany teaches a lot of you young women, number one, to do other things. You know, all of these people got kids. Um, eh, change your life, like, as soon as possible. Mahogany's family, I'm sure they're devastated. This is a very devastating situation. Again, it does not matter to me what was going on because it could have been stopped. It wasn't. So this is why I got this far. But we're going to hear a lot of things about why this happened. You know, I get it, Victor. I get it, and it's not just Beham. The world is like this. The world is like this. It's not just in Birmingham. It's really not. It's in so many other different places. But a lot of these people, what I think is being overlooked in this situation, in situations like this is why people don't feel sorry for, and I'm going to say that you should feel sorry, but you should have like empathy and sympathy for situations like this. But why people overlook a lot of things that happen with young Black men and young Black women because of the things that surround it, is why people will overlook it when it's just like a lot of these younger kids and older ones, grown adults that are doing the things that they're doing in these areas like Birmingham and Illinois and Georgia and Florida and New York and California and just so many other places, right? They're doing it because I think that they feel forced into a lot of these decisions. We get that opportunity is everywhere, right? And just because people are doing things, it does not mean that you have to do those things too. We get that. But it's easier said than and we're back. I don't know what just happened, but we're back. So I don't know. I honestly I think it'd be people report my video, but they're not gonna take it down unless you do something you're not supposed to be doing. So you guys are weird. If that's what you're doing. You guys are weird. Move right along. So a lot of the people in these environments are doing what they're doing because a lot of them feel forced to do what they are doing. So just because there's opportunity everywhere, we know it's just like, okay, go get a job and stuff like that. Um, it's a lot of these decisions, joining gangs and starting them, and hitting licks and robbing people and stuff like that. It to them, it just makes more sense. It really does. And then they have their instruction manuals, rap music. A lot of these kids, you'll be like, oh, the twerking and the this and the that, and them walk around with weapons and all of that on camera with weapons, standing outside taking pictures with weapons and all of that stuff. Well, yeah, they have their manual, rap music, and then they, take that and add that into their actuality. So again, it's unfortunate that these decisions have to be made, but it doesn't mean that we should stop speaking on them and that we shouldn't tell the ones that are going through these things and are in these environments that they shouldn't get out and that they shouldn't, look to other things. I don't think that's fair to just be like, oh well, because you're talking and you're speaking on deaf ears, saying what you're saying. I don't care. I'm gonna keep saying it until somebody hear me. If we just save one person, if we save two people, if we save three people, hey, good enough for me. Better than none. And you never know what a person's gonna take from what they hear. You never know who's listening. and you never know what they're going to take from what you are saying. So you just never know. But we should still encourage them that you don't have to do these things. Yeah, Giselle, I agree. I agree. I agree. So let's the updates now. Again, trigger warning. I like to keep the situation about Mahogany. I just think on a lot of places on YouTube, and even TikTok and Instagram, that it's getting lost, that her story is getting lost because so many people are like beefing now and coming at each other and stuff like that. And I don't want to lose the direction of the story. The direction of the story is getting Mahogany justice. So this is what I'm talking about it for. I get that other people, have a problem with each other and stuff like that, and that don't have nothing to do with me. I'm here to talk about Mahogany. Yeah, I'm not about to be beefing with people, and so to me that's weird. Somebody passed away, and that somebody is Mahogany, right? What happened to her is devastating. Doesn't matter what type of life she was living, no one deserves that, right? This is what it's about to me. It's not about anything else. So um I guess some people get kind of like caught up in the story so deeply to where the front runners of the conversation are targeted, um because of jealousy, envy, stuff like that. I don't care about any of those things because what the does that have to do with Mahogany? It's about her. It's I don't care about that other stuff. I won't be like covering like beefs and how can you beef looking for justice? I thought the point was so that we can make sure that the people that did these awful heinous things are charged, and that she's able to rest in peace, and her mother and sister and daughter and all of that are able to move on. All this other stuff, that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't care. I really don't. Like, even when it comes to Blue, that's why I said like we're not beefing, because this isn't about you. It's not about you. You're making it about you, and it's not. Like I don't know. But I have tunnel vision when it comes to this, and my tunnel vision is Mahogany. She's in the tunnel, so that's it. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care. I really don't. Moving right along. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. So this article says Mahogany Jackson knew she was going to pass away after abduction, torture over stolen weapon. Okay, prosecutor said. So again, we definitely knew that this was personal, that this had way more to do than what was being led on um in the first place about it being about Blue. We knew it was beyond that. Like we said, I feel like it's multiple things. I don't feel like um all of that happened because of Blue. Blue's not that important and unattractive. Okay. So, I mean, because it's going to happen out of one of two things. You being important, which the important person in this situation would have been Tasia. Tasia is the important factor. Tasia is the one that everyone's looking to get her, um, validation, and approval from. Blue is not that person. No one in the clique gave up about Blue. Mahogany thought Blue was cool. That's about it. That's what this gives. So that's why I say it's not about Blue. There's no reason for us to like target you and people that are. I mean, it is what it is. But there would be no reason for me to target you when it's not about you. Nobody even liked you. Like let's keep it froggy. Everybody liked Tasia. Mhm. Everybody liked her. Everybody would fall out with Tasia because she was likable, regardless of how evil she may have been, and manipulative and all of that stuff. Yeah, we get all that. But at the same time, okay, nobody liked you. Now, this weapon coming into play, it was spoke of by Blue, although Blue, where she don't know too much. I wasn't there. You might as well have been. Mahogany, a Birmingham woman, tortured for hours before she was fatally popped out in the back of her head, likely knew she wasn't going to survive the abduction, a prosecutor said yesterday. The 20-year-old mother of a 3-year-old daughter was terrified by the physical and actual attacks caught on video recorded by the suspects. She had a bowel movement on the floor. Wow. She trigger warning. Trigger warning. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. Please hit the like. So the fact that the victim defecated herself around the time she was being ordered to shower speaks to her level of knowledge of what is about to happen to her. Jefferson County Deputy District Attorney Sharissa Hinchridge said in court Wednesday, which was she was not going to leave ever. She was going to die. Wow. Wow. So they're stating some of the actions that Mahogany was making. She knew she wasn't going to live. She knew she wasn't making it out. She knew something. This was different this time because things had transpired between this group before. But let's keep reading. Hinchridge's statements came during a preliminary hearing before District Judge William Bell for 6 of the 8 suspects. So 2 were not there. Charged in Jackson's napping and unalivement. 3 of the suspects, Brendan Pope, 24, Francis Ace Harris, 25, and Jeremiah Kodak McDowell, 18, were charged with capital murder during a first-degree napping and capital murdering during first-degree otomy. This is just crazy. 5 others are charged with felony murder: Taja Lewis, 26, Sanai McCall, 23, Giovanni Clapp, 23, Blair Green, 25, and Ariana Lachey Robinson, 23. Lewis and Clapp were also initially charged with second-degree assault for allegedly using a weapon and whipping Jackson with the weapon. Pope, Harris, McDowell, Lewis, Clapp, and Robertson were in court Tuesday. Green and McCall's preliminary hearings are set for March 18th. Birmingham homicide detective Mark Green testified for hours Wednesday, detailing how a witness came forward early in the investigation with videos, evidence, and location of Jackson's body. That witness, Green, said came forward to clear his name after he felt he had been accused on Facebook as being involved in Jackson's appearance. So, hold on. Okay, so is this, because ain't one of there's, okay, Blair. So that witness Green said came forward to clear his name after he felt. So is that Green said Jackson possibly, okay. So is this the father or the stepfather? Because I heard that it was Jeremiah's like dad or stepdad or something that was there. Was it Blair's? Because this person just so happens to have the same last name as Blair Green. So is this like the father that they said? Because it says that witness, okay, cool, right here. A witness came forward early in the investigation with videos, evidence, and the location of Jackson's body. That witness, Green, came forward to clear his name after he felt he had been accused on Facebook and been involved in Jackson's disappearance. I'm confused. No, it was France's dad that was allegedly there. No, it's a friend that was in the group, somebody close to Taja. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, Francis's dad was allegedly there. Okay, now that makes sense. Because I'm trying to figure. I'm like, okay, well, who's this? Because I hear, and because it was going around that Jeremiah had confessed. So I'm like, okay, what? Because why is he still being charged with certain things if he confessed? So it's not giving that Jeremiah confessed. So I was just trying to make sure that that wasn't the same situation, and that this wasn't like, I guess like Jeremiah or whatever. But it's not. So y'all saying that it was a friend of Taja's. Okay, makes sense. So the detective, Green said, Lord, okay. The witness, Green, said, came forward to clear his name after he felt he was being accused on Facebook as being involved in Jackson's disappearance. Green said Jackson possibly stole a GUN from someone, and someone had then stolen it back from her, and she was upset. That he said may have led to her violent passing. So I hear that that's Brandon. So allegedly, Mahogany had a weapon, and allegedly Brandon stole it and like some money from her, because she was allegedly staying with Brandon when she would be in town because she lived in Jasper. But let's keep reading. Because I did read another article that said something about Brandon was allegedly the one who took the weapon and stole money from Mahogany. So, okay. The detective also said one of the suspects discovered by looking at Jackson's phone that she had messaged family members saying she was held hostage and sending them her location. Okay, now that makes sense too. That makes sense too. When we're going over theories, we said that too. Like, okay, well, how did she get to her phone? And then if she did get to her phone, wouldn't that be a problem if she sent the messages? So when people are saying that Mahogany blew, are saying that Mahogany didn't send those messages to her family, clearly she did. So that was Mahogany messaging her family. Because right here it says the detective also said one of the suspects discovered by looking at Jackson's phone that she had messaged family members saying she was being held hostage and sending them her location. So that was her. Mahogany did message her mother and her sister. Okay. So with people saying correct, we're gonna pull that up too. We're gonna watch that. No emotion, no remorse, nothing. It's like this is a game to them. But let's keep going. Okay, right here. It was at that point, Green testified. Alleged Pop Power Harris said she ain't going nowhere. Wow. When the hearing ended, the judge found probable cause to send the capital murder during a napping charge for Pope, Harris, and McDowell to a grand jury. So they're still going with the capital charges when it comes to those three, when it comes to the three men. Bell also bound over the capital murder during a R-word and otomy for Harris, but dismissed the capital murder during a so Bell also found over the capital murder during the sodomy for Harris, but dismissed the capital murder during okay. So, okay. All of the felony murder charges were also bound over to the grand jury. Okay. So it's not that those charges are being removed or anything like that. It's just going to the grand jury. Okay, they're going to decide on that. Maybe on the 18th. I don't know. We'll see. The second degree assault charge against Clapp was reduced to third degree assault charge, which is a misdemeanor. So Clapp is Giovanni. Let me pull the people up. So Giovanni has her charge was reduced to third degree. Which here we go. So Giovanni, her charge was dropped down to third degree assault. Okay. So yeah, which that kind of annoys me. Was reduced to third degree, which is a misdemeanor. That's why it annoys me, because that's a misdemeanor. The investigation began just before 8 a.m. on Sunday, February 25th, when Jackson messaged family members that she was being held in an apartment 3 at Serenity Apartments in Southwest Birmingham. Jackson's friend Lewis lived there, Taja. She set her location and told them not to call her, but to call the police. The messages were sent about 4 a.m. that Sunday, but not discovered by her family until shortly after 8 a.m. Her body was found in the early morning hours of Monday, February 26, under a mattress at an illegal dump site in the 1700 block of Laurel Avenue, known as Dead Man's Road. Green testified that as investigators were at the site where Jackson's body was found, a witness showed up at Birmingham jail saying he had information about Jackson's murder. Blue, was this you? Blue, was this you? You did turn yourself in. Blue. Look at here. It says Green testified that investigators were at the site where Jackson's body was found. A witness showed up at Birmingham jail saying he had information about Jackson's murder. The witness, who is like a brother to Taja. Oh, so this ain't you. This is the Taja friend. Okay. So this is where y'all saying the Taja friend. Okay. Said Lewis called him that morning when family and police had showed up to her apartment looking for Jackson. The witness went to Lewis's apartment, and Lewis and McCall went to Pope's house. It was at Pope's house that the witness said he talked to Harris. So all of this, it did start at Brandon's house. It absolutely did. Okay. Pope said he talked to Winston Harris. Harris detailed the account and that he had murdered Papal Jackson. So the witness saying that Harris admitted to him the next day that he had, ended Mahogany. I'm the one. Yeah, I did it. I had to. I did that. Wow. And even said he was shown where her body was. The witness, Detective Green, testified. So y'all took him to even say, like, look, she right there under the mattress? What is wrong with y'all? Oh my goodness. Wow. The witness went to Lewis' apartment. Okay, no, we got to read this again. The witness, who is like a brother, I'm not going to actually, okay. Green testified that as investigators were at the site where Jackson's body was found, a witness showed up at Birmingham jail. So this was on Monday, because this is when she was found. So when they was at the site where she was, he was at the jail. The witness, who was like a brother to Lewis, Taja, said Taja called him that morning when family and police had showed up to her apartment looking for Jackson. The witness went to Lewis' apartment, and then Lewis, and McCall went to Pope's house. So they left Taja's house and went to Brandon, where it started. It was at Pope's house that the witness said he talked to Harris, which is Francis. Hold on, I should just put them up on the screen, girl, just in case people are getting confused by the names. Okay, so oh Lord, this is Francis. Okay, I'm just keep him on the screen because he's the one who did it. He the one who took her life, and this is who he was talking to. Okay, Harris, who's on the screen, detailed the assault and that he had murdered Pow Mahogany. Detective Green said, and he said he was shown where her body was. So they took him to where Mahogany was. The witness, Detective Green, testified he had not been present during the on Jackson or her murder. The abduction began at McMilton Ave, home of Pope. So it started at Brandon's house. Wow. 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 But there's more. Hold on. Let me pull up because there's more details. Let's get into. Wow. Wow. They took him to see the body like crazy. Testimony pictures reveal the violence that led up to Mahogany Jackson's murder. Okay, so we're going to get into this clip. I want y'all to pay attention. Now, as you see, there's Giovanni, the bigger girl, then there's Taja, and then there is Ariana. Okay, I want you to see how they're basically laughing, talking to each other. There's no remorse, none whatsoever. None whatsoever. Hold on. Let's listen to this first.
Elevate your backyard with a maintenance-free composite deck by Direct.
Always an ad. Always an ad. Okay, so we're gonna watch this news report first on this, and then we're gonna read more.
Jackson, our Jen Horton, and they're in court as 6 of those 8 suspects were in court today, Jen.
Jonathan, this is one of the few things that we don't have on camera. One of the few things that happened to Mahogany Jackson that police just don't have cell phone video of. But today, the lead detective on the case said that the suspect, Francis Harris, reportedly pulled the trigger. This is Mahogany Jackson, the victim, and tonight we know that she endured significant violence before she was shot in the back of the head. The majority of those police say are responsible in court today for a preliminary hearing. The suspect showed no emotion while the state went frame by frame on a lot of that
No emotion. When they showed them everything that happened to her, the pictures, videos, all of that, they could care less. They look at it like she deserved it.
Phone video taken of Jackson being kidnapped, stomped, drugged, stripped, and sexually assaulted.
The connectivity, the sheer brutality, the barbaric nature of it. You can't substitute that by just the photos.
The judge bound over the majority of those counts, which will now go before a grand jury. The forensic and ballistic evidence is still pending, including the bullet that was recovered from Jackson's body.
Elevate your backyard with a maintenance-free composite deck by
Crazy. Hold on, there's another one I want y'all to watch too. I want to watch this one too. I believe there's a. Okay. Let's go. Wait, let's do this first. Then we'll watch it. Yeah, maybe we should do this first. Go over the details that they gave out in court. So 6 of the 8 defendants charged in the passing of Mahogany Jackson appeared in court Wednesday for a preliminary hearing. Okay. Jackson was found unalive at an illegal dump site. Okay, we're going to keep reading the same thing over and over. Okay, let's get into the details. Okay. During the hearing, the state showed screenshots from cell phone videos taken by several of the defendants. The prosecution went image by image, allowing Birmingham Police Department case agent Detective Mark Green to explain what was happening in the pictures. Green's testimony revealed Jackson was dragged, assaulted, spit on, slapped, kicked, and punched. Multiple suspects were seen in the video holding GUNs and pointing them at Jackson. The state asked Green whether Jackson was ever free to leave at any point during the videos. He responded, no, she was not. At one point, Green explained one of the defendants struck Jackson in the head repeatedly with a baseball they found on the ground nearby. Wow. Wow. This poor girl went through hell. Jackson was then taken to an apartment and essayed, according to Green's testimony. At this point, she had been stripped nude, handcuffs were placed on her, and this is the video where they are stumping her without clothing. Green said one of the images. Testimony revealed drove Jackson from the apartment to the place where she was unalived, which is also known as Dead Man's Road. McDowell and Harris were in the car, according to the testimony. The autopsy revealed Jackson died from a pow-pow wound to the back of the head. According to witness statements, Harris reportedly powed Jackson. Okay, so he did it. Harris' attorney argued there is no physical evidence tying Harris to firing the shot. Multiple defense attorneys cross-examined Green, revealing multiple videos are still being processed by law enforcement, along with forensic evidence that could further tie the defendants to Jackson's death. All defense attorneys argued the lack of physical evidence should stop these cases from being referred to the grand jury. So they don't want the whole capital charges. They want them, 3 GUNs have been recovered, which are also being processed. At this point, it's unclear which GUN was used to unalive Jackson, but a projectile was recovered from her body during the autopsy. Green testified that based on witness statements, this all began because Jackson reportedly stole a GUN, which one of the defendants allegedly stole back from her. Jackson's family called 911 on February 25th after receiving a text that said, "I've been napped." Defendants Sinai McCall, Blair Green will have preliminary hearings next week. Okay. Let's get into, because I have another article that further explains what was going on between Mahogany and Brandon. Okay. Let's start right here. Detective Green says it hasn't been determined yet how much time passed between the incident between Jackson and Pope when the assaults on Jackson began. Green says the physical assault on Jackson started outside of Pope's apartment on McMillan Avenue. Of the 5 videos turned over by witnesses, Green says one of the videos shows part of the assault at Pope's apartment, and the other 4 were taken at Lewis's apartment, which is the second location Jackson was taken to. Green says The group split after some time, and Jackson was driven in Harris's car by Pope with Harris and McDowell to 17th Street Southwest and Cedar Avenue, an illegal trash dumping site known as Dead Man's Road. Green says McDowell and Pope admitted Harris was the one who pulled the trigger. Okay, so Green says McDowell and Pope said that it was Harris shooting Jackson in the back of the head. Detective Green says 3 more videos have been obtained through some of the defendant's phones within the last 24 hours. However, there wasn't enough time to thoroughly investigate the new videos before the preliminary hearing. Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr says police are still going through the videos and learning more each day. Though the video wasn't played during court, Carr says there's no substitution for viewing them. The connectivity, the sheer brutality, he said, okay. McDowell and Pope had their charges of capital murder and sodomy dismissed. That's what it's saying, McDowell and Pope. So it sounds like the only capital charge is going to be given to Francis, the one who pulled the trigger. So Brandon Pope, and Jeremiah McDowell, it sounds as if their capital charges have been dismissed. And that the only person that's going to have the capital charge is Francis. It's what it's looking like. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. So, yeah, crazy. Absolutely crazy. So it seems like it's just going to be him. The assault charge against Clapp was dropped to misdemeanor with a $6,000 bail. So now Giovanni, on the top row, Giovanni Clapp, she can be bonded out. So now she has a bond, and her bond is for $6,000. What it's giving is Giovanni had little to do with what happened if they're willing to drop her charge down to a misdemeanor, which I don't know. I just feel like all of the charges should have stuck. But I knew it was going to be a chance of them, some charges getting reduced. That was always going to be an option. So, yeah, so Francis is the only one with a capital charge. And now Giovanni has her charge was reduced to a 3rd-degree assault. And she now has a $6,000 bail. No one else has a bail besides Giovanni. Yeah, everybody else is still being charged with murder. With just Pope and McDowell, their capital murder charges have been dismissed, but the murder charges have not been. So that's definitely going to the grand jury to decide. So yeah, yeah, from what I hear. Crazy. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. So yeah, there have been some charges reduced and dismissed. Ugh, wow. But it says the judge says any of the charges dismissed could be brought back by a grand jury. So again, the grand jury has the right, if they want to remove the 3rd-degree assault charge on Giovanni and make it back to what, and do 1st-degree sodomy or capital sodomy. The grand jury, look at here, grand jury, we counting on y'all. And look at here. Okay? So, yeah. Now, a grand jury can bring the charges back. Okay? They absolutely can. So, yeah, they can bring it back. So let's hope they bring him back. Carr says his team knew it was a possibility charges could be dropped, correct, without being able to see the videos in full. So they're hoping that when the grand jury sees the videos in their entirety, that they will bring the charges back once they see the videos. Because even the detective says that there's no substitution I can tell you about these videos, but you seeing the videos is a whole nother story. Like you watching them tells another story. Like you gotta see them. Like there is no substitution. So yeah, shout out to Straight to the Truth. Thank you for staying positive. I know her mother must be feeling so much guilt. Well, I wouldn't say that her mom, why would her mom be feeling guilt? Why would her mom be feeling guilt, sweetie? I don't understand that. I've seen a lot of people say crazy things about Gail. Uh, I I don't feel like Gail did anything wrong. I've heard stories about, oh, well, Gail's uh, man or whatever tried touching Mahogany, all this stuff. Girl, I feel like Gail is going through a lot. Very hard time for her. Um, her granddaughter as well. Um, I don't see why she would feel guilty. Like guilty about what? Rest in peace to Mahogany. But I mean, and not even that. She texted her at 4 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning. She's at the house raising Mahogany's daughter. Even when this was happening to Mahogany daughter was with her mama. So you taking care of a little kid, you need your rest. So she working and all of that stuff, exhausted, taking care of, you know, the grandbaby and all of that, working. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. And the article we just read, it said 4 a.m. Her mom didn't see it until 8 a.m. Yeah, absolutely. It said 4 a.m. She received the text message, but she didn't read the messages until after 8 a.m. when she was on her way to the airport. So I don't see what I just don't see what she would feel guilty about. Somebody passing away is a part of life. So what Mahogany was going through with in that point in time was not her mother's fault. It was Mahogany's fault. Mhm. It was Mahogany's fault. It wasn't Gail's fault. Gail didn't put Mahogany in that situation. Gail didn't put Mahogany around those people. She did not do that. You can tell a person till you're blue in the face to stop or to do something, and they're going to do what they want to do. So Mahogany did what she wanted to do. I wouldn't want Gail to feel like she should feel guilty or at fault for anything because she's not. She shouldn't feel guilty. Guilty about what? If I've had loved ones that have passed away that have sent me a message or something like that. If I didn't receive the message, if I was Mahogany's family member, she would have sent me that message at 4 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm asleep. I'm not gonna feel guilty because I wasn't woke. Like I don't know. Mahogany shouldn't have put herself in that situation. God rest her soul. She shouldn't have been around those people. She shouldn't have. So yeah, I just don't see what she should feel guilty about, you know. Um I feel like Gail was a good mom. Mahogany said Gail was a good mom. She loved her mother, and I feel like her mother loved her. It's just you have tumultuous relationships sometimes. Sometimes, a lot of I think people that have good relationships with their parents and that were, pretty like well behaved and things like that. You got to stop thinking like the whole world is like that. Just because you would never disrespect your mom doesn't mean like the whole world is like that. Just because you wouldn't badmouth or curse in front of, You know, just because you have certain respect and you do certain things, you can't expect everybody to be like that, right? So the issues that Mahogany went through, you could look at it like, oh, that she went through with her mom. You could look at it like, oh, I would never treat my mom that way. Or you could look at it from the other way and be like, I would never treat my daughter that way. Like when it comes to Mahogany and Gail. I mean, well, yeah, so but Gail and Mahogany. Relationships are relationships. Mahogany did live a certain lifestyle. She did. And it can be embarrassing to somebody like Gail who's trying to do the right thing and work and, you know, and all of that. I why would the things that Mahogany was going around doing, why wouldn't those things be like embarrassing? You know, going back and forth to jail, stuff like that. I don't get that. I really don't. I really don't. Mahogany was 20 years old when she passed away. How can her mom have failed her? Tasia failed her kids. She about to go to jail for the rest of her life. Her kids are still kids. Mahogany was 20. So that means Gail did what she needed to do. Gail got her across the finish line. You raise your kids until they're about 18. After that, you guide. So they're going to listen to the guidance or they're not. You can't force a kid. You can raise 10 kids in the same house and all 10 of them turn out different. It doesn't mean that they weren't given proper structure or, you know, saw people working hard. And it doesn't mean that. It just means they're going to choose the way that they want to go. If the streets is more appealing to them and what they see out there going on, that's what they're going to do. If they don't view hard work and determination appealing like what Gail was doing, how can you blame her for that? Mahogany was grown. She was an adult. She wasn't failed. No, she just made bad decisions. It's a part of life. Nobody's perfect. I'm raising 4 kids. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting them to make mistakes and all type of stuff. Just because I live a life that I'm not, you know, and out here in these streets and doing so, it doesn't mean that my kids won't. It don't mean that and I've given them all the structure to be able to. But if they choose that way, that's what they're gonna do. As long as they do it when they're grown, because they're not gonna do it in my house. They're not gonna do it on, you know, on my roof. You know, but once they grown, if they want to be out here doing this and doing that, in and out of jail, fall of drugs, alcohol, what that's on them. That don't have nothing to do with me. So yeah, I don't see how that is Gail's fault. No, Mahogany was grown. This didn't happen to a 16-year-old. This didn't happen to a 12-year-old. Do you have every right to say something about Gail at that point? Because girl, what are you doing? That your 12-year-old went through all this. That your 15-year-old went through all of this. This isn't the situation. Mahogany was 20. Very so much grown. So I don't see how this falls on Gail. I don't get that. Sure said that is what Mahogany's mom said. Not in my house. Correct. Yeah. You when your kid is an adult, your kid is an adult. You get to choose. You know what you want to do. What you want to do. Yes, I did talk to her, and I feel really bad for her. Really bad for her. Really bad for her. I don't have permission to put things out there. So if I don't have your permission to, you know, record the phone call and whatnot, then I won't do it. It didn't sound like she wanted to be, and I felt weird asking, so I just talked. But we had a decent conversation. But yeah, I feel bad for her because again, these people, because they're not kids, these people, you know, they chose this life, you know, they chose it. So let's keep going. Shout out to Gail, sending her, you know, prayers and positive energy. Okay, so yeah, right there where it says there's nothing that can substitute the connectivity. So oh yeah, where we're at that. So I was reading something earlier that said Mahogany. Hold on, let's find that. Mahogany, because there's more about that court too. there's more about court. Let me pull up YouTube actually, because I think I watched it on YouTube. So maybe I didn't. All right, let me pull this back up. We can watch this really quick, and then I will find that for you guys.
Elevate your backyard with a maintenance-free composite deck by Durante. At Durante Home Exteriors, we specialize in transforming ordinary.
I can't. Super annoying. Super annoying. Super.
Killed Mahogany Jackson. Our Jen Horton, and there in court is 6 of those 8 suspects were in court today, Jen.
Jonathan, this is one of the few things that we don't have on camera. One of the few things that happened to Mahogany Jackson that police just don't have self video of. But today, the lead detective on the case said that the suspect, Francis Harris, reportedly pulled the trigger. This is Mahogany Jackson, the victim, and tonight we know that she endured significant violence before she was shot in the back of the head. The majority of those police say are responsible in court today for a preliminary hearing. The suspect showed no emotion while the state went frame by frame on a lot of that cell phone video taken of Jackson being kidnapped, stomped, drugged, stripped, and sexually assaulted.
The connectivity, the sheer brutality, the barbaric nature of it. You can't substitute that by just still photos.
The judge bound over the majority of those counts, which will now go before a grand jury. The forensic and ballistic evidence is still pending, including the bullet that was recovered from Jackson's body.
Elevate your
Tonight, new details in the death of Mahogany Jackson. 6 of the 8 suspects in court today. Thank you so much for joining us here at 6. I'm Brittany Decker.
I'm Guy Rawlings. We've been following the Mahogany Jackson case. WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn, live and local in Birmingham tonight, outside the Jefferson County Courthouse. A lot of the details too gruesome to talk.
Six of the 8 suspects in court today. Thank you so much for joining us here at 6. I'm Brittany Decker.
I'm Guy Rawlings. We've been following the Mahogany Jackson case. WVTM 13's Aaron Llewellyn, live and local in Birmingham tonight, outside the Jefferson County Courthouse. A lot of the details too gruesome to talk about, Aaron.
Yeah, Guy, Brittany, the hearing today lasted for about 3 hours, and the legal teams went through the details of what led up to Mahogany Jackson's death and even uncovered some new details about her final moments. And some of it was too unbearable for her family to hear. Now, today we know that the defense attorneys claim that Jackson was at one of the suspects' house, Brandon Pope, and questioned him about a gun that she says was stolen and money that was also stolen from her purse at some point throughout the day. She even made him strip to prove he didn't have it. Now,
Did y'all hear that? That's the article I was looking for. Hold on. Let me rewind that so y'all can hear that again.
Throughout the day. She even made him strip to prove he didn't have it. Her purse at some point throughout, saying that Jackson was at one of the suspects' house, Brandon Pope, and questioned him about a gun that she says was stolen and money that was also stolen from her purse at some point throughout the day. She even made him strip to prove he didn't have it. Now, Pope told Harris to do.
So allegedly, Mahogany had Pope strip at GUN point. So Mahogany allegedly put a weapon to Brandon and made Brandon strip because she heard that he stole her money and her weapon. Girl. Let's hear that again.
Brandon Pope and questioned him about a gun that she says was stolen and money that was also stolen from her purse at some point through out the day. She even made him strip to prove he didn't have it. Now Pope told Harris to do something to her because she made him strip. Now the detectives working the case say Jackson was assaulted multiple times throughout the time she was being.
So it sounds like it switched. It sounds like Brandon wanted to do everything that she had just did to him. So her stripping and them stripping her down and all of that. Now, is that true? We don't know. Because from what I hear, Mahogany was asleep. I feel like Brandon may just be saying that to make Mahogany look like the aggressor, and he was like defending himself in certain. I just don't know if I believe that. I don't know if I believe that. I'm not, because shout out to Brownie. Brownie said Hatch was no joke. That's why it took 8 of them. Did you know her? Did you know her? Or are you just saying like in general? Shout out to Brownie. Did you know Mahogany? Did you know Mahogany? I don't know. I think he's lying. And the reason why I would say he's lying because Mahogany was there. She was like at his house. Like, so you let her make you strip down all of that stuff and then just let her go lay down in your house and go to sleep? What? I think he's lying because this is what Brandon is saying. Okay, Brandon said that. And I did read that earlier. Because I'm like, well, what? I'm like, well, she was staying over there. Why would you let somebody do all that to you in your home? I don't know. I just don't think he's telling I don't think he's telling the truth. I don't think that's true. I really don't. I think and it's Brandon saying it. I don't know. I don't know. I just think he was trying to help his case by making her look like, oh, she was really scary and all of this stuff. So it's like Mahogany was yay high when it came to him. I don't know. I just don't think he's telling the truth. Because why let her stay there? Because she was staying at his house. I'm not about to let nobody make me strip down in my crib, all of this stuff and whatnot, accusing me of stealing from them and all of that. And all right, now that we found out that you didn't, go ahead and go in there, lay down, get you some rest. Like what? I don't believe that. Now, I'm not saying that it's not in Mahogany's character because people say a lot about her. Rough around the edges, they all kept weapons and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that it's not possible. I just don't think if it did happen, it didn't happen that day. Put it like that. If it did happen, it didn't happen that day. It didn't happen that day. Yeah, I think so too. I think she was asleep. I don't think she was awake. I don't, because it started at Brandon's house. So if it started at Brandon's house, that means that's where Mahogany was asleep. Because she got brought to Tage's house. That was later in the day. That wasn't like right away. That was later on. So I think that Mahogany was asleep. I think that they woke her up, hurting her. I think they woke her up like hitting her, stuff like that. Like, get up, da, 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 da. Kind of like with Shanquella, like woke up to a bunch of aggression. woke up to, you know, an altercation, completely caught off guard. So yeah, I don't think he's telling the truth. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like.
Being held against her will. Now, both Jackson and some of the suspects' families were in the courtroom today for the detailed hearing, some of it becoming emotional. Now, District Attorney Danny Carr says her family might be disappointed some of the charges were reduced or thrown out, but they're one step closer to justice.
They understand the circumstances, but they also appreciate what we have in front of us, and they understand that this is a marathon and not a sprint. There's still a lot of work ahead of us, and you know, we'll be there with them every step of the way and make sure that there's accountability.
Now, later in the day before Jackson died, she was put in Harris's car, and he, Pope, and McDowell took her to clean Harris's car out. Even though the defense claims Harris said they were taking her back to her house, that's when Harris is accused of pulling the trigger and shooting Jackson in the back of the head. Now, District Attorney Danny Carr calls this one of the most gruesome murders he's ever seen.
Since I've been in his office, I've had some, yes. Some of y'all may be, I was young too at the time, but the Thanksgiving homicide at the Airport Inn Hotel, where 3 people were brutally murdered in the Airport Inn Hotel on Thanksgiving morning. I actually handled that case and tried it myself. That was a very brutal case. This one, unlike that one, the brutality kind of played itself out in real time because it's video. There's a video involved.
Now, this case is still being investigated, so new details could emerge in the coming days. And the things that are still being investigated are rape kits and ballistic results. Now, the 2 other suspects in this case are expected to be back in court for the same hearing on Monday. For now, we're live in Birmingham. Aaron Llewellyn, WVTM 13.
Hold on. Let's get into... Do we have it? Yeah, I think we do. Gail.
She has been for the legal proceedings pursuing justice in her daughter's death. The details have been difficult for any parent to hear. I sat down exclusively tonight with Gail Maddox Trotter, who had her pastor, John Cook, with her for support to go beyond the headlines and learn about the daughter taken from her.
She was full of life, and she loved her family. She had just begun getting real close to her cousins, and she was my baby, you know. And she had a baby and didn't deserve what happened to her.
What happened to Mahogany Jackson is unspeakable. Kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered at 20 years old. A text message from Mahogany is one of the first signs that her mom says she got that something was wrong. She was on the road traveling at the time.
She sent me a text message, and it said that she was being held hostage in apartment 3. Do not call. Send the police. Hurry.
In our interview, she talked about the timeline for police to arrive at that location and what was going through her mind. Because in your heart, you know something's not right.
I knew something was wrong with my child. Let me tell you something. Mahogany is not the type of person. She's tough. Let me tell you, she's tough. She's not the type of person that's going to call for help if she does not need it. She was afraid. And I know that because that's my child. You see, so far, 8 people have been arrested. 1 child. 1 20-year-old, but she weighed like 115 pounds. You know, she was a tough cookie, but she couldn't handle that, and she was terrified.
According to Birmingham police, the 8 people...
Wow. Super sad. Like, wow. Like she said, she was a tough cookie, but I mean, no one can handle all of that all the stuff that happened to her. Like, that's crazy.
People charged in the death of Mahogany Jackson are all acquaintances. When you got that call that she had been found, who called you?
Okay. I was sitting on the couch. It was like 1 something in the morning. So, and I just got done praying because I knew she was gone. I knew it. I felt it. And I said, Lord, please just make them tell me where my child is. I think earlier I had posted that on Facebook, but I just really prayed really, really hard. And I said, Lord, please just let them tell me where my child is. And it wasn't about 5 minutes later, I got a text message through Messenger. And it was a lady, and she was telling me, to please call her. She had information pertaining to my daughter.
Information about the fate of Mahogany Jackson that turned out to be true. A message Gail Maddox Trotter says came from a woman who too was a mother. What did you think of that act? That mom intervening in that way?
I just felt, I was thankful. I was thankful.
She had this message for young adults.
But ultimately, my goal from this, what has happened to my daughter, is that other kids her age will recognize and realize when your parents tell you, hey, this person, they don't mean you any good. They don't have your best interest at hand. Leave this person. Take heed and listen, because this is something that could happen to you.
And I'll be sharing much more from my interview with Gail Maddox Trotter in the coming days. The Woodson Center's Voices of Black Mothers United were also in court today with Gail Maddox Trotter. They've started a fund to help raise Mahogany's 3-year-old daughter that the public can donate to.
Oh.
It's at a SIPCO credit union, and there's just a phone number for you to call to let them know what you are donating money for her 3-year-old daughter. The number to call, 205-328-4371.
Oh my God, I'm totally donating. We're going to listen to that one more time.
She has been for the legal proceedings pursuing justice in her daughter's death. The details have been difficult for any parent to hear. I sat down exclusively tonight with Gail Maddox Trotter, who had her pastor, John Cook, with her for support to go beyond the headlines and learn about the daughter taken from her.
She was full of life, and she loved her family. She had just begun getting real close to her cousins, and she was my baby, and she had a baby and didn't deserve what happened to her.
What happened to Mahogany Jackson is unspeakable. Kidnapped, assaulted, and murdered.
Yeah, Gail hasn't. That's one thing I can respect too. She hasn't been all over TV. Someone just said that she don't be all over TV like those other people. Yeah, that very true. And when another reporter talked to Gail, she didn't want to be on camera. She was like, "Yeah, I'll talk to you, but I don't want to be on camera." So you could tell this is not. She devastated. Like, this ain't no clout chase or anything like that for her. Like, her daughter is gone. Like,
murdered at 20 years old. A text message from Mahogany is one of the first signs that her mom says she got that something was wrong. She was on the road traveling at the time.
She sent me a text message, and it said that she was being held hostage in apartment 3. Do not call. Send the police. Hurry.
In our interview, she talked about the timeline for police to arrive at that location and what was going through her mind. Because in your heart, you know something's not right.
I knew something was wrong with my child.
Apparently, when they were telling her Mahogany, if she gave them the passcode to her phone, that they would let her go. When she gave them the passcode to her phone, it's actually what made them in her life. Because of the messages. They saw that she had sent the messages to her mom and sister. So when that had happened, this is not King Payne's show. Go over there. Like, you're getting annoying. Like, I'm about to block you. Like, I'm not his keeper. He's not my keeper. Just like you can get in contact with me, you can get in contact with him. Go leave it underneath his video or something that you need to contact him. It's really annoying. This is about Mahogany. You need to talk to him. Go. He's not here. What the do you want? Like, he's not here. Like, weird. Like, say something else and I'm gonna block you. If it's not about Mahogany, I'm gonna block you. It's not hard to get in contact with King. It's really not. So here, Flip. No, that's annoying. He's not. King Payne is a very resourceful person, and there's multiple people that you can hit up underneath. Like, if you can't get to it, there's plenty of other people, you can get to. I'm not one of those people. So I'm not. I promise you. I'm not gonna hit him up and say that you looking for. I don't give up. So yeah, moving right along. So those messages that they found, they wanted the passcode for the messages. That's why they said the police said that even after forcing her to give them the passcodes to her phone, they still ended up ending her life. Well, I feel like that's what made them end her life, is because of what it said. It's because she said that, to call the police, and stuff like that. So when people say like, oh, well, with the police, oh, well, they asked her for her passcodes and told her that they would let her go if she gave it to them, just for them to still ultimately end her life. Well, I believe that they did that because they wanted to see if she had messaged somebody to let them know what was up. Surely enough, she did. And that's what made Francis say she's not going nowhere, because they seen that she was trying that, that they were way more, it went too far. Now we about to get in all type of trouble, so she got to go type of situation. So I think that's why they got the passcodes and still ended up taking her life, is because basically she would have had a better chance if she didn't text anybody. But since she did, it's like, okay, well, yeah, now you got to go. Now we got to, please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. Ooh, what happened?
My child. Let me tell you something. Mahogany is not the type of person. She's tough. Let me tell you, she's tough. She's not the type of person that's going to call for help if she does not need it. She was afraid. And I know that because that's my child.
I mean, she had to have been afraid. They were hurting and harming her so bad that she had bowel movements on the floor, and whatnot. Like, she had to have been terrified. Terrified. If she only dialed 911, if she only texted to them. That's another thing. I want everybody to know that you can text 911. You can text 911 and send them your location. You really don't even have to say much else. That's it. Just text them and send them your location. If she would have sent that text message to 911, then she probably would have made it. I mean, but you can text 911. You absolutely can. And you can send me your location. They will come. Yes, they will. So it don't always have to be a phone call. With modern technology, you can text. You can call any law enforcement agency around the United States of America and ask them, hey, if I text 911, will y'all still come? Yes, we will come. And you don't even have to speak. Just send your location to 911. You don't even have to talk. Because and they'll come to at least just do a wellness check. If nothing else. So just come like, okay, well, somebody just text us a location from this number. So yeah, you don't have to call. You can text. You absolutely can text 911. And just like she did, you can put notes on it too, because 911 will message you back. They will. So you can put little notes on it and be like, just like Mahogany did. I've been napped. I'm at this apartment, this location. Please come. Don't call, come. Same thing. And the police would have came. Mhm. So I want everybody to know that you do not have to call 911. You can text them too. And that's the wonderful thing about the location button. Everybody needs to know how to send your location. It's really easy. But learn how to send your location, because you can do the same thing and the police will come. Yes, they will. You can text. You certainly can. So it doesn't have to be a dial. If you're ever in distress, there's somebody around you and you're scared or something going on and you don't feel like you can call someone or call 911, text. You can text 911. Okay, I want that to be embedded in your brain, because a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't know that you can text 911. A text is just as good as a phone call. A texting is technically better because you can send them your location. There's a lot of times when you call 911, you have to talk. So you have to tell them where you are, But if she would have texted 911, they would have been there within like 10 minutes. They would have been there. They would have came. They sure would have. So, the messages that she sent her mom and whatnot and her sister, they didn't necessarily see them right away. So that's the unfortunate thing. But with the police, they will see her right away. And it goes to them. It sure does. You can text 911. You can. But let's keep going.
You see, so far 8 people have been arrested. 1 child.
Thank you, Kimmy Cakes.
1 20-year-old, but she weighed like 115 pounds. She was a tough cookie, but she couldn't handle that, and she was terrified.
According to Birmingham police, the 8 people charged in the death of Mahogany Jackson are all acquaintances.
When you got that call that she had been found, who called you?
Okay, I was sitting on the couch. It was like 1 something in the morning. So, and I just got the number in.
Please tell y'all daughters, especially. Please tell y'all daughters, especially. If there's something going on, a dude making you feel some type of way, or it's just some energy that you're not feeling, text 911. Do not text me. That's what I tell my kids and my girls. If something is happening with you, get in contact with the police before me. They have way more, things at their disposal to be able to find you than me. So if you can't call, text. Because if you can call, that's fine. But if you can't call, text. Make sure you do that. If it's a dude make you feel uncomfortable or just whatever, text 911. Send them your location. And I show my kids how to use their location. They know how to send it. They even do it to me now. When I'm picking up for a place, stuff like that, I'm like, I'm here. They'll send me the location. So what Mahogany did was smart. She sent her location. She said apartment 3. That was smart. I just wish she would have known that she could have texted the police the same information. I just wish she knew that, because that could have saved her life. She would have known. I don't think Mahogany knew that you could text the police, because she's literally texting somebody telling them to call the police. So it's given Mahogany didn't know, because 9 times out of 10, she would have been fine. She would have made it out of there. But yeah, so because obviously Mahogany wanted to get in contact with the police because she was afraid. So I believe her mom, when her mom says that, for her to say call the police, she had to have been scared, like real scared. So yeah.
Because I knew she was gone. I knew it. I felt it. And I said, Lord,
thank you, Victor.
Please just make them tell me where my child is. I think earlier I had posted that on Facebook, but I just really prayed really, really hard. And I said, Lord, please just let them tell me where my child is. And it wasn't about 5 minutes later, I got a text message through Messenger. And it was a lady, and she was telling me, to please call her. She had information pertaining to my daughter.
Information about the fate of Mahogany Jackson that turned out to be true. A message Gail Maddox Trotter says came from a woman who too was a mother.
They did take her phone, but after the text messages. How we know they took her phone, Jazzy, is because they wanted her passcode. When she gave them the passcode, they found the messages that she sent to her mother and sister. So she did have her phone. She had it. Now, she may not have had it long, but she had it. But what I believe is that they took the phone after she texted. So she must have been on her phone, diddling or something, or they wanted her to open her phone and show them something else, or so they could see something else, and she sent those texts real quick as she was doing it, and then locked the phone. So then maybe that's when they start questioning her, like, open the phone, give me the passcodes, open the phone. They wanted to see. And then honestly, that probably wasn't even it. Maybe she sent the text to her mom, and maybe they heard her phone buzz, or maybe they saw a message from somebody else that she had tried to text with her sister, or something like that. I mean, who knows? But they wanted to see inside of her phone. So she had it at one point. She did. That's why I just, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
What did you think of that act? That mom intervening in that way?
I just felt, I was thankful. I was thankful.
She had this message for young adults.
But ultimately, my goal from this, what has happened to my daughter, is that other kids her age will recognize and realize when your parents tell you, hey, this person, they don't mean you any good. They don't have your best interest at hand. Leave this person. Take heed and listen, because this is something that could happen to you.
And I'll be sharing much more from my interview with Gail Maddox Trotter in the coming days. The Woodson Center's Voices.
So there's more. She interviews Gail more. So I am interested into hearing what else they have to say. Do you know who has the phone now? I believe the police have. Are you talking about Mahogany's phone? Because I believe the police have Mahogany's phone. I believe. Please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. And not only that, new videos as of yesterday have been found in two of the suspects' phones. So they're gonna have a lot to show the grand jury. So two new videos have been found, and those videos alone could bring up more charges or new charges, because it's an ongoing investigation. So what I think is the men snitched on each other. Yesterday, before we talked about or got this information, I thought that it had to have been the men. I'm like, they got out of control because of the men. Taja is weak sauce. Sanaya, weak sauce. All of those people, they're just set them up queens and kings. Like, they're just used to setting people up, right? And so, with that being said, it would have had to have been one of the men that did that to Mahogany. I don't feel like Taja or Sanaya or Giovanni. I don't feel that any of them took Mahogany's life. I always felt that it went too far. And when it went too far, it went too far with the men, because Mahogany and Tasia and them, they had fought before, got into it with each other before, and whatnot, and then nobody's life end up getting taken. So I don't think, like I also said yesterday too, if it was up to the women, Mahogany would have lived. Even Blue said out of her own mouth, to set him up queen herself, that they was just supposed to fight. She's like, it wasn't supposed to go there. Like, it, with her saying like, oh, she's surprised. I think a lot of people are. It sounds like a lot of people are surprised that Mahogany is deceased, that she actually was unalived, but it wasn't like Taja or one of them did it. No. I think Giovanni took a deal. I think Giovanni is trying to get a deal. And I think that Jeremiah McDowell. I should put them up on the screen because I don't want to get people confused. Jeremiah McDowell and Brandon Pope snitched on Francis. I think that they snitched on Francis and labeled Francis as the power, and which, let me put Francis up on the screen. Oops, sorry, Francis. And labeled Francis as the power because they are trying to get their deals lessened. I also think Brandon is lying, saying Mahogany made him strip down and all that. I just don't believe that stuff. I believe that that is all cap. I don't believe that none of that is true. Okay, hold on. Let me pull this up. I hope it's not like the same thing over and over because that's how it be sometimes with these articles. But I'm going to pull up another little video about what happened.
6 of the 8 defendants in the murder and kidnapping of 20-year-old 6 of the 8 defendants in the murder and kidnapping of 20-year-old Mahogany Jackson Mahogany Jackson appeared in court today in Birmingham for a preliminary hearing. Prosecutors displayed still images from videos taken while Jackson was held against her will. ABC 3340's Gracie Johnson was in the courtroom today. And Gracie, some of the defendants' charges were reduced and even dropped.
Muriel, based on testimony and evidence that was presented during the preliminary hearing, Judge William Bell found probable cause for the defendants to be bound over for grand jury consideration. But like you said, some of the charges were reduced. Brandon Pope, Jeremiah McDowell, Francis Harris, Tasia Lewis, Giovanni Clapp, and Ariana Robinson were all in court Wednesday for the preliminary hearing. The prosecution presented graphic screenshots from videos. All of these were taken while Mahogany Jackson was held against her will before she was murdered. The photos depicted Mahogany being slapped, punched, stripped nude, and forced to perform sexual acts while held at gunpoint. Jefferson County District Attorney Danny Carr discussed the nature of the videos.
Sheer brutality, the barbaric nature of it. You can't substitute that by just still photos.
There are 8 videos total, initially brought forward to law enforcement by an acquaintance who...
I do feel that the majority of them in court don't have any remorse, but I will say this about Ariana. Ariana looks scaredless. Ariana looks scared. Giovanni looks confused, and Tasia looks like she don't care. Tasia look like she don't care, like at all, but Ariana, she does look scared, and I don't feel like, because Ariana is a punk, so she probably feels a lot of this isn't deserved when it comes to her because she did the least. Like, oh, I'll just hit her a couple times, like I shouldn't even be here, So what the story tells, let's get a little into that. Starts at Brandon's house. Allegedly, Mahogany was asleep. Allegedly, that hasn't been confirmed. Mahogany was asleep. The women and whatnot woke her up, fighting her, putting their hands on her, spitting on her, all type of other stuff. After that, please hit the like, please hit the like, please hit the like. After that, Mahogany, all type of stuff happened to her outside in Brandon's complex. All type of assaults and stuff. They hit her with baseballs, all type of stuff. And then took her to Taja's house. Certain things happened at Taja's. Tied her up, handcuffed her, all type of stuff. After that, they separated. So the men left with Mahogany, lied to Mahogany, and told Mahogany that they was going to take her home. Mahogany must have been in the front seat, and Francis must have been in the back seat, because I believe it was Francis's car or Brandon's car, one or the other. And Francis popped her in the back of the head while driving, is what it sounds like. And then they dumped her at the site. That's what it sounds like. So I don't think that they planned it like that. But here's the crazy part. Tasia and all of them knew that Mahogany was deceased. And they even took the witness, which was like a brother to Tasia, to see Mahogany's body. So Tasia didn't give up at all about what happened to Mahogany. So all of them, including Giovanni, because Giovanni is the cousin of Tajas, allegedly. Shout out to Letitia. She says, hey, Shauna from Birmingham, Alabama. And I knew Mahogany. Oh, I'm older than her, but I just want to say that you're showing her and her family so much respect and grace, and I really appreciate that. I'm subbing now. Oh, thank you. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much, Letitia. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Shout out to Annette. Annette says, Mahogany family need to get Ben Crump involved. Sounds like they're trying to do to her what they did to Tremaine, correct? And minimize what happened to that girl. They say BPD is corrupt. Girl. Shout out to Annette for the super sticker. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Yeah, I don't agree with any charges getting dropped. And the reason why, Annette, because let's pull this up. Hold on. So, sorry, let me get this out the way. So, everybody knew that Mahogany was deceased. All of them. So, all of them are accomplice. All of them knew that y'all are all murderers as far as I'm concerned. Okay? Because all of y'all knew about it. All of y'all. So with all of y'all knowing about it, Tasia and Brandon taking Taja's the witness that came forward and went to the police department and told them what happened, to the crime scene and showing them Mahogany's body and all of that before the police found her body. Makes me feel like Blue know way more than what she lead on. Mm-hmm. 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 And the reason I'm saying that is because the witness came in the day Mahogany's body was found to state what happened and what the witness was told and shown. So that gives Mahogany had been deceased since Sunday, is what that gives. That it's a high probability that she was popped out early Sunday morning. Because if the police, unless they took the witness over there Monday morning, it's either Monday or Sunday, because the police found Mahogany on Monday. So I don't know if it was like early that morning or something, or was it Tuesday? I mean, Lord, Tuesday, Sunday. Like Sunday morning, they took the witness over there, showed the witness where Mahogany was. Because the gives Mahogany passed away on Sunday, and she was found Monday. Is what it gives. I don't think Mahogany passed away on Saturday. She couldn't have, because she sent the text message to her mom, and that was Sunday, like early Sunday morning. So I believe when her, basically, I'm gonna say it like this: when her mom got the messages, she was already deceased. When her mom read the messages, she was already gone, is what it gives. That is what it's giving. That is what's given. Hold on, that's a good question. Someone just asked. Hold on, let's do that. Okay, is this one? Okay, yeah, this is one. Let's pull this up, and we'll do like a timeline so we can have a better idea of what happened. Okay, so right here, this one here, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Okay. Police say they known Jackson contacted her family the morning of February 25th, shortly after 8 a.m., saying, "I've been napped, send for help." Okay, so let me pull up my calendar so we can make sure we got our days and stuff right. And I'm a girl. So the 25th was on Sunday. So Sunday, shortly after 8 a.m., was when mom must have read the message. Doesn't mean the message was sent at 8 a.m. Saying that I've been napped, send help, don't call. The following morning, Jackson's body was found with a wound to the back of the head. Detectives said they found her at a legal dump site. So, okay, but what time? Another disturbing fact is that officer says she was forced. Okay, we know that. Some of the suspects, okay, we get that. Detective Green says on the videos, the suspects can be heard telling Jackson that she is going to die. Okay. Hold on, let me see, because we need an actual timeline. This one says ultimate guide. No. So if she was sent a message early Sunday morning, then that means for a fact that I think that she was already gone. I think she was already gone. No, she wasn't. She wasn't alive. She wasn't. She was not alive. Shout out to Pia Parker for being a member for 34 months. She says matter, city, and state. You're right, that you live in. Shout out to Annette. She says Blue is the witness. She says she went out of town but had to come back. The witness to what? The witness to what? Sweetheart, what is she the witness to? That text was sent around 4 a.m. on Sunday. Correct. So I think that she passed away right after that. I think that they wanted the passcodes and stuff to her phone. They got it. And when they did, that's when they took her for a drive. when they opened up that phone and saw what she said. They took her for a drive after that, is what it's giving. And Frances took her life. Lisa, I think the bullet was just by precaution. Mahogany could not have survived those injuries. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Shout out to Annette. She says, telling the police. Oh, okay. Okay. No, she is not. Good morning. Rock says, Sean, they're getting cut deals because they want to know the truth and what role everybody played. But here's the thing. What deals can they get? What deals can they get? Because Frances is going down no matter what. And then all of them knew. So I don't see what type of, because the grand jury is the one who's going to decide the true charges. Once they see all of the evidence, once they see all of the videos, and all that stuff, they're going to decide. They all knew. Even bringing people that weren't even involved to see her body. They all knew. This was a game to them. A game to them because they didn't think that they was going to get caught. Yeah, they've been turning on each other. But it's only so much turning on somebody that you can do because y'all all going down. All of you are going down. The one that may not go down, the one that may get a slap on the wrist is going to be Giovanni, because even the majority of the people there said that Giovanni wasn't somebody that hung out with them normally. So that was a kind of by fluke. I don't think Giovanni had the animosity, because it would take to know a person. It would take to know a person, to have that type of animosity. I'm assuming that was around the time of the text message. So the text message was sent at 4 a.m. I think that's around the time they drained her Cash App. I think that's when they did that. They drained her Cash App around the time that she sent or gave them the codes, the passcodes to her phone. Because it wasn't just, I don't think that they were just asking, because on Cash App, how you can have your own passcode on it so that it's locked. I think that is the code that they were asking for before they ended her life. Mm-hmm. After they seen that she was texting people, I think they took her phone and had her phone and kept it. But when they were saying, give us the passcodes and, we'll let you live and whatnot, they had already had their mind made up that they were going to end her because of the text messages that she had sent. I think it's well, since you about to die, since we about to end you, what's the passcode to your Cash App? Because they're all thieves. So why wouldn't she have her Cash App locked up and stuff like that? Because you can put a passcode on your Cash App. So I think that they already could get into her phone. I don't think that was the problem at that point. I think that, it was them trying to get her passcode for Cash App to drain it because, no. If you were blocked, you wouldn't be here at all. So you mean, are you still on timeout? Did somebody time you out or something? Dwayne says, so it's more than 8 suspects. Honestly, I literally, Jazz, I was just about to comment on that. I don't see how the witness is not involved. If they said that Mahogany is not alive anymore. Why do you need to go see her body? And why? Francis admitted to you that he powed her, all of that. Why are you going to where her body is? Why are you doing that? What that were? That don't make sense to me. I believe the witness should be brought up on charges. I do. Francis admitting that he did it, which should have been enough. Why do they have to prove it? I don't feel that that's something that would need to be. I would believe a person, but like, okay, Mahogany's not here, and the witness knew what was going on with Mahogany. They knew that it was a problem that they had been putting their hands on Mahogany, like, you know. And so the witness had heard of these things, but needed proof. I don't think that the witness needed proof. I think that because Mahogany's not here. So when you go to Tage house the next day and they're telling you that, and Francis like, yeah, she gone. I popped her. Da 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 da. Her not being here should be enough proof, right? On Sunday, Mahogany was listed as missing, a missing person, because in Birmingham, it's 48 hours before a person can be pronounced missing. So Sunday is why I'm thinking they took him to see Mahogany's body on Sunday and not Monday. Because Monday was the day that the police found her body. Okay. The police said while they were at the site of Mahogany's body, the witness was at the police department. So did the witness tell them where Mahogany's body was? Because if the witness, because you got to think about that, if the witness is at the police department and the police are at the scene of the crime, are the police at the scene of the crime because the witness that came to the police department sent them there? Or were they already at the scene of the crime and he just so happened to be at the precinct while they were already at the scene of the crime? That's what I'm confused by. Because if the witness came in and sent the police to where Mahogany's body was at, then I think that would make a little bit more sense into why charges and stuff aren't being brought up on him, because he came and told. But if the police found her body before he told them, then I feel like charges should be brought up on him. But if the police found her body because of him, then I completely understand. Then I feel like, yeah, maybe he is just an innocent party that heard some things that he shouldn't have heard, or was told some things he shouldn't have been told, and he did the right thing and came and told the police because he doesn't want anybody or the police to feel that he has any involvement. Yeah, he's like a brother to her. Hold on, I can pull that article back up and we can read that again, because no. Okay, is that this one? Okay. So here's a bit of a timeline too. The messages were sent about 4 a.m. that Sunday, but not discovered by her family until shortly after 8 a.m. Her body was found early morning hours of Monday. Okay, so there's a timeline right there too. The text messages were sent at 4 a.m. Her mom didn't see him until 8. She was found Monday, the following day, early in the morning, in the early hours. Green testified. Okay, Green testified that the investigators were at the site where Jackson's body was. A witness showed up at Birmingham City Jail, saying that he had information on Jackson's murder. So again, this is why I'm confused. Green testified, which is the witness, the person that's like a brother to Taja. Green testified that as investigators were at the site where Jackson's body was found, a witness showed up at Birmingham City Jail, saying he had information about Jackson's murder. So it's not necessarily giving that he sent them to her body. Yeah. Let's keep reading. The witness, who is like a brother to Taja, said Taja called him that morning when family and police had showed up to her apartment looking for Jackson. Now, this was on Sunday. So when Taja called him, it wasn't the morning of Monday. This had to have been on Sunday when she had called. Was like a brother. Police showed up to her apartment. The witness went to Lewis's apartment, and Lewis and McCall went to Pope's house. So yeah, this had to be Sunday. This is on Sunday because her body wasn't found yet. It was at Pope's house that the witness said he talked to Harris. Harris detailed the assault and that he had murdered Mahogany. Detective Green said, and he said he was shown where her body was. So yeah, this was all on Sunday. So when the police came over there originally on Sunday, Ariana and Taja kept lying about where Mahogany was, and stuff like that. I think which is weird that they thought that they would get away with it, because why would Mahogany's mom and them not call the police? Why would they not do that? That's weird. Why would they not do that? They need to be located and charged. Mm-hmm. They need to change laws regarding concealing information. There are too many people who could have prevented it. Correct. Why is Blue not in jail? Correct. 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 Notice how in none of the police investigation have they said anything about Mahogany being asleep or none of that. That information came from Blue. It's starting at Brandon's house and going to Taja's house. That came from Blue. So that's what I said. Blue. Girl, la 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 la. Oh. Shout out to Lysandra for the super sticker. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But correct. Yeah. Correct. Okay, so we're at about 2 hours, so I'm gonna cut the show here. I don't like the shows being too long. We will be back later on this evening. I have a couple of people that have reached out to me that I would love to talk to. If you knew Mahogany and would like to come on my show and talk about what you knew or what you think happened and whatnot, please hit me up on Shine Every Way Show at IG. If you would like to come and just say your piece or say what you think happened. If you live in the Alabama area, if you know more than we don't know, or if you were a witness to what happened, when you want to talk, I would love to speak to any of you. Hit me up on Shine Every Way Show at IG or at shineeveryway@gmail.com. I love you all. I will be back. Okay. There's much more to this story. Again, prayers and blessings being sent and stowed upon Mahogany and her family. Shout out to Gail. We love you, Gail. Stick in there, hang in there. We know it can be a lot. Shout out to everybody in Birmingham and in Alabama. Shout out to all of y'all. I know this has been a very trying story for you all, very triggering. I love you guys, and I will see y'all on the next show. Until then, bye. I guess if it let me leave, it doesn't want me to leave.